welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I am your host, Big Al. Along here with me is our co-hosts, Nick, the Shockmaster, and our wonderful producer, Sensational Sosie.
Oh, God.
Today on the podcast, we will be discussing Cena and Ryback, as well as things following both Raw and SmackDown and Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Alright, let's get things started. Nick, what do you think of Paul Heyman's new guy? Yay or nay?
As of right now, after last Monday, I would give the guy a yay.
Really?
I don't know if I would give him a yay or a nay. The jury's still out on the guy. I like Paul Heyman's introduction of the guy formerly known as Michael McGillicuddy, but his new name is Curtis Axel, I believe is how you pronounce.
I disagree. This was terrible. The name is terrible. There were crickets when he walked out.
Of course, because Michael McGillicuddy. You're so used to seeing him on Saturday morning slam getting squashed like Sin Cara.
No, you're not even seeing him on Saturday morning slam.
But let's be honest here for a minute. Michael McGillicuddy has a legacy behind him. He is the father of Kurt Hennig. He is the grandson of Larry the Axe Handler, a WWE Hall of Famer, 2 WWE Hall of Famers. I mean, the guy has a talent. He was a finalist on NXT Season 2, which came out to him and Caval. And when you look back at it now, McGillicuddy showed money because Caval stuck around for maybe 6 months and asked for his release.
Yeah,
and
they didn't do anything with him.
Well, they were going to do something with him. He should have just been patient. Now he's just swinging around the Indies doing nothing. He's not even in TNA right now. But Michael McGillicuddy is a great talent. He got praises from Triple H, who is his biggest fan. And The Rock is his biggest fan as well, because he helped train with The Rock prior to the Royal Rumble. Okay. So the guy could go in the ring. He has the talent. He has more charisma than Ted Diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They need to redefine his look. I mean...
Yeah.
There's too many dudes with beards. There's too many dudes that look as doughy as him. There's too many dudes that have his same ring style.
I mean...
and why can't he have his name? Why can't...
Well, that's the thing I was about to get to, Sensational Sosie. I mean, why can't the guy come out and just say, my name is Joe Hennig? I mean, when he was in Florida Championship Wrestling, he was Joe Hennig. He was the former FCW heavyweight champion. He built Florida Championship Wrestling when he was down there. The guy came from nothing. The guy can't even put on a simple headlock. And look where he is right now. He's arguably probably one of the best pure wrestlers in the locker room, arguably. And yes, in the last, I would say, 2.5 years, WWE done absolutely nothing with him, but it's all because he has a stupid, corny name. Triple H is more in charge, so Triple H actually giving him this spotlight. And I think by hooking him up with Paul Heyman to be his ultimate mouthpiece, you cannot go wrong with Paul Heyman being your mouthpiece. So I think this thing will go somewhere. It just, what really killed the segment was when he interrupted Triple H and Paul Heyman. Triple H basically said, shh, adults are talking. Yeah. You just basically killed the guy right there. It's like
he shouldn't have talked at all. He should have
he should really just do the whole
route. And the whole thing with his name though, like how well did that work for Rocky Maivia? Seriously.
I mean, over time the name might get dropped and he might say, you know what, screw this, my name is Joe Hennig, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but
and just develop his own personality. To me, this is just a stepping stone. He already dropped the Michael McGillicuddy name. He's going to this. He could evolve from this. Who knows? Paul Heyman has advocate, not manage, advocate Brock Lesnar. He advocated probably one of the best title reigns in our generation is CM Punk. Paul Heyman has never really managed a mid-carder. Right. He never really have. He could be a strong heel mid-carder. He just needs to get out there. I think during that segment, he should just simply beat the crap out of Triple H instead of having a match.
Yes,
I think the match did him really no justice. You should just beat the crap out of him, and you could easily solve the concussion thing during a segment, than opposed to a wrestling match.
Because this is what that said to me. It said, like, Triple H with a concussion and at half mask could still kick this dude's butt.
Exactly. That really hurt him. I mean, really.
Now that we're on the subject of Triple H's injury and his match with Mr. Mediocre.
Curtis Axel, excuse me.
It's Mr. Mediocre.
He's not Mr. Me.
Otherwise.
Hey, he beat the crap out of Sin Cara on SmackDown. But
anybody can. Dude.
He got his revenge on Sin Cara from Saturday Morning Slam 2.5 months ago. He got his match. Stick it.
Okay, but while we're on the subject of the Triple H injury, let's talk about how. Okay, Sosi thinks this is a work. I'm not quite sure it was a complete work. Like, it might have been a work for, like, some of the guys in the back, but the look of concern on Paul Heyman's face when they cut to him, Paul Heyman would not have given a shit.
We're talking about Paul Heyman, the guy who was the best seller in the industry.
This dude...
No, hold on. This thing was a total work. This is a way of getting Steph and Vince McMahon back on TV. This is reintroducing the McMahon family to basically try to talk Triple H to never wrestle again. Technically, Triple H shouldn't even be wrestling right now. He's a suit. He shouldn't even be out there wrestling, to be quite honest. He's, in his 40s now? He shouldn't even be out there
He
wrestling.
signs the checks. I mean, how do you count 3 on the dude that signed the
And plus,
check?
don't get me wrong. The concussion storyline is the way to go. Concussions is a serious topic, not just in the NFL and the AHL, but in professional wrestling as well. The WWE has taken steps into lessening concussions by taking away chair shots to the head, by taking head shots through the table. They even try their best to be careful with the ladder situation. I believe that whole concussion with Dolph Ziggler basically threw up a lot of red flags because one of their top guys went down via a ladder, not via a wrestler, but via a ladder aiming towards the head. I think the problem with the concussion angle, which I like it, but the wrong wrestler is anchoring the concussion. Who really cares about Triple H? Do anybody remember? This is the same Triple H who politically got rid of a lot of guys backstage, basically gutted the developmental system for the good, because the developmental system is better than it was, like, let's say 2 or 3 years ago, who got rid of a lot of guys. Do you really feel sorry for Triple H in this concussion angle? I mean,
he looked like, well, I will say this. He's definitely improved his acting skills since Blade Trinity.
That's true, but what if it was somebody else? Let's say, what if it was someone like, I don't know, who backstage that everybody really cares about?
John Cena.
No, I wouldn't say Cena. Someone like, let's say Rey Mysterio came back, and he suffered a major concussion angle. I think Rey Mysterio would have been a perfect candidate for the concussion storyline, or someone like Santino Marella, or maybe a Zack Ryder, or...
No, Zack Ryder was too busy getting stuffed into an ambulance.
Or
Rey Mysterio wouldn't be good because people would just make fun of him.
True.
Because every time he comes, he leaves with the injury. So,
what about Kofi Kingston? Someone like that, someone else other than Triple H. They have to bring in Paul Heyman to really carry the Triple H Brock Lesnar storyline around this time last year, to make people actually care and cheer on Triple H.
Right.
People were cheering for Brock Lesnar when their feud began last year.
Yeah,
they bring Paul Heyman in to just to generate heat towards Lesnar, because people were cheering for Lesnar, like, yay, Brock, kick his tail.
Okay, well, I like your candor. Let's get on with the new Fandango gimmick of dancing in the middle of a...
Excuse me. I'm here to interrupt you right now. It's Fandango!
Got to let the A's breathe.
Those A's need to suffocate.
Fandango!
Those A's need to be put into the vacuum of space and
my God.
die.
Fandango, if you're listening to our podcast, I apologize for Big Al. He just doesn't know how to pronounce your name. You're more welcome to come on the podcast and just correct him.
Fandango? Fondingo?
Oh my God.
Funyun?
Fondurango.
I'm embarrassed.
Dodge Durango?
I'm embarrassed right now. Anyway, go on what you're about to say, Big Al.
Well, anyways, dancing in the middle of a match. I mean, seriously. Just shows utter disrespect for your opponent
It's
and
freaking
your
Wade
partner.
Barrett. It's Wade Barrett.
Yeah, but Wade
It was
Barrett...
amazing. I loved it.
I loved it too. It's Wade Barrett. He's the Intercontinental Champion. They haven't done nothing with him since before he won the belt and after he won the belt. He really done nothing with the guy. So, to me, it was irritating. It adds more drama to the match. And Fandango did not eat the loss. Wade Barrett did. Which is kind of embarrassing that the Intercontinental Champion ate the loss.
Yeah, of course it is. Because, that's a belt that nobody cares for anymore.
And speaking of that, the very Well, a few days later on SmackDown, do anyone really pay attention to Miz TV?
Does anybody pay attention to Miz anymore?
I watched it, kinda.
Well, the Miz called himself trying to insult Fandango. They went back for Wayfair to come out there, threaten Fandango, and say he will punch his teeth out next time they cross paths. Then this led to the Miz getting his long-awaited Intercontinental Championship rematch, in which the Miz won by disqualification due to Fandango's interference. And Fandango did eat Wade Barrett's finishing move, the bull hammer, after it was all said and done, which this will lead to a possible triple threat match at WWE Payback, where Wade Barrett will defend the Intercontinental title against The Miz and Fandango, and Stone Cold Steve Austin's prediction of Fandango winning the Intercontinental Championship will come true.
Yes,
Fandango. Yeah, baby, he will be the new Intercontinental Champion. He will dance his way to the title.
For those of you who are wondering, our big man Nick here is dancing. I don't know either of you.
Oh,
I really don't. Let's talk about the Shield right quick.
The greatest thing in professional wrestling.
Yes, absolutely.
I have to say, I was not expecting them to get all three of the belts that they were going for.
I did.
I was expecting them to get the butterfly belt, like all the belts.
They can't get the butterfly belt.
The cruiserweight belt.
Like, there's no such
the hardcore championship belt.
Yeah, pull that out of retirement while we're at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they were going to pull out TNA belts and give those to them too. Like, just like
here's the old WCW belt. Yeah. Just hold it.
But with Dean Ambrose defeating Kofi Kingston at Extreme Rules was the greatest thing I've seen in a long time, because Dean long deserved a championship belt in WWE. He deserves it. For a guy who wrestled from dark match after dark match after dark match for a full year. I've never seen a wrestler competing in dark matches for a full year, fighting on TV. Me and Impact by Wrestling Undertaker had a classic against Daniel Bryan a few weeks ago on SmackDown. Man. That's what wrestling was about. Yeah. They had a darn good match against Kofi. He deserves that Intercontinental title win. And unfortunately, for my favorite tag team, Team Hell No, their time has just basically ran out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Seth Rollins, a.k.a. Tyler Black, and Roman Reigns finally won the tag team titles. I have no problem with Shield. This has established the Shield as a dominant force in the company. And they're the strongest and the most best creative group that's out there, not only in WWE, but in professional wrestling right now.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Roman Reigns' father, Alpha, yes, he was also tag team champion, was he not?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
They should do an angle with that.
No,
just a small little mention.
No, it destroys credibility of the Shield.
No, just a small little mention of. I'm sure Alpha's like.
I know, but it will break the whole Shield mystique if he does that. It will just break the whole mystique. You can't do that. You just can't. Just can't. If anyone just go on WWE.com and check out the Extreme Rules post-show video of the Shield, basically holding up all three of their championship belts, it was the greatest thing ever. I wish I could just take a picture of it and screen save it on my computer. And also, Kofi got his rematch against Dean on SmackDown, in which Kofi won by DQ. The Shield interfered, but the Shield had one heck of a six-man tag with Kofi, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. They tore it up. But breaking news, which is probably not breaking news, Roman Reigns did tweak his ankle during the match.
Yeah, I heard that.
We don't know how severe it is, but I'm pretty sure we'll find out more by this Monday on Raw.
Okay.
And also I want to shout out happy birthday to Roman Reigns. His birthday was today.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
I don't know how old, but I know his birthday was today. Mr. Scott Armstrong, a.k.a. Hardbody Ref, was shooting out birthday shout-outs on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's also Del Rio's birthday, too.
Now, let's talk about Caitlyn's secret admirer. Is she getting catfish?
Yeah,
and by who?
She's getting catfish. It's not quite like a Manti Te'o catfish, but she's being catfish.
It's either, I think it might be a Bella.
I think the Bellas are.
No, I think it's her best friend.
Who's her best friend?
You think it's Natalya?
I think it's Natalya. I think they should turn Natalya heel. Just for just for this.
That'd be a great match, though.
That'd be a
It
great...
would be an awesome match.
Natalia will destroy that woman. Natalia will destroy her.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It'd be visually interesting to watch.
Don't get me wrong, Caitlyn wrestling ability has gotten better in the last year and a half, but it's still not up to par with Natalia Neidhart, the daughter of the Anvil. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just
well,
not.
Yeah, but when you put Caitlyn in the ring with all those tiny little stick girls, it's not believable.
it's not visually interesting.
Yeah.
Tiny little... Well, we haven't seen her wrestle AJ Lee yet.
Yeah, we have.
Have we? I don't remember that. Have that match happened?
Yeah, well, it was a tag match, but she
But
speared
not
the crap out of her
one-on-one.
and left her on her face.
Well, not one-on-one, though.
Yeah. And I wouldn't believe
But
that.
is she getting catfish? Yes, indeed, she's getting catfish. And I think the catfish thing will come into full light when she finally has her match with AJ, which I'm predicting that will happen in the next pay-per-view.
Hey, it might be AJ.
It might be. It could be AJ. And AJ will win the Butterfly Championship belt in Chicago, which she will get a big ovation.
Nah.
It's Chi-Town. They love their heels in Chi-Town.
Now, did you watch the match on SmackDown with AJ and Layla?
Ugh.
Layla grabbing AJ's butt, trying to get out of that
And I'm
submission.
pretty sure every guy I'm sure every male wrestling fan out there loved that visual image. I'm a married man. I'm not gonna make a comment.
If she was like just reached a little bit further, she would have grabbed full on.
Lady parts.
Yeah. It would have went in.
Oh, gross.
Time for me to take a drink, folks.
Well, I think, Nick, it's now time for your segment in Book It. Let's hear it for the Shockmaster himself.
Okay.
And welcome to Book It with Nick McGee. Today's segment, I'm going to talk about the Sheamus Mark Henry feud. I was going to talk about Antonio Cesaro, but I'm going to push that back for another time. I really need to talk about this. From after watching Extreme Rules and witnessing probably the most horrible strap match in WWE history, really the most horrible strap match in wrestling history, with two guys who, I would say a couple years ago, put on a great match at SummerSlam, where Mark Henry was going through the world's strongest man push and finally became world champion that year. Watching this match was a complete joke. We went through several weeks of Mark Henry and Sheamus going through arm wrestling contests, pulling trailers, tug of war, just complete garbage and crap. And we get this pathetic PG rating strap match? Are you kidding me? The match started off with Sheamus going slapping Henry with the face with the strap and taking Henry off his feet with the strap. Then what killed the psychology of the strap match was you have to drag your opponent to all four corners, which they're using the bull rope rules. And there's anybody out there who wants to correct me, you're more than welcome to. But that's the old bull rope rules where you drag your opponent to all four corners and touch all four turnbuckles. A strap match, supposed to be brutal. Both men supposed to literally beat the crap out of each other. The winner of the match should be by pinfall or submission, not dragging your opponent around the ring.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a bull rope match where it involves a cowbell as well?
Yes, the cowbell is tied in the middle. You can use the cowbell as a weapon, and you can use various other things. In a strap match, you use the strap. You can even go on the outside if you want to use a steel chair if you want to. This match was poorly designed. It was a match that was made for the little kiddies out there, so it does look brutal. And correct me if I'm wrong, did that strap look like it was a microfabric strap?
Yes.
I mean, that was the most ugly-looking strap I have ever seen. It looked like that came out of Vince McMahon's Halloween closet. I mean, that just was pathetic. I did not enjoy this match. It was a terrible match. If I had to rate the match right now, which I'm going to, I would give it a 3 out of 10. It was the most horrible strap match I have ever seen. Thank God WWE put into it. My book in the match, these two hate each other. Mark Henry's the world's strongest man. He came back to WWE from months of injury, claiming the Hall of Pain's back open. Well, not only the Hall of Pain is closed, a new hall's been open. It's called the Hall of You Are a Pathetic Joke, Mark Henry. That's what I'm calling it. And Sheamus will go on and continue his reckless reckless Irish John Cena jokes all over the WWE, where Mark Henry basically is off of our TV right now, being a shell of his former self, what he was 2 years ago. The match would have been booked differently. It would have been a vicious match where they beat the crap out of each other, and the winner would have been done by pinfall or submission. Yeah, I probably would have given it to Mark Henry to win the match, because Sheamus had the edge over Mark Henry over the last several weeks leading up to the match. So it would have been more sense if Mark Henry would have got the win, and you could have done a rematch at the next pay-per-view. What do you think, Big Al?
Honestly, I miss the old days of the classic leather strap and beating the Jesus out of your opponent.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see like black and blue marks all over
And
Sheamus.
that was
I wanted
where
Sheamus
went
to
down.
look like Mark Henry when the match was over.
Exactly. I want Mark Henry's black skin to turn purple when it was all said and done. That's what I wanted. I wanted Sheamus to actually whip 5 pounds off of Mark Henry with a strap. But I don't know if that would have been physically done if he had that microfiber strap.
Exactly. I wanted Sheamus to look like Jesus after the Passion of the Christ.
No comment. No comment after that.
Silence.
Yeah, crickets. But yeah, I just hated that match with a passion. I would change the complexion of that match completely, and it was great that match was booked second or third, second on the pay-per-view, which it should have been pushed back later on in the pay-per-view. You could have done more or pushed later on to the pay-per-view, because you would have less children watching probably during that time.
Yeah,
anyway.
the lackluster pay-per-view was just... No, the only good thing about the pay-per-view was the Brock Lesnar Triple H match inside the steel cage, and even that wasn't that great.
And the Brock Lesnar Triple H steel cage match was the worst out of the previous two that they had. To me, their match at WrestleMania tops wherever they did, despite Triple H winning, which disappointed me. But that's my segment. Book it. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right back into it with our thoughts on the Cena-Ryback storyline as of Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Now, for those of you who don't know that Cena and Ryback went through the light wall underneath the Titantron and supposedly got super injured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cena.
It's Cena. He has 2 modes, Superman and Dead.
I can't believe people in the IWC, the Internet Wrestling community, are praising that boring Last Man Standing match. It was boring and was brutal. I mean, not brutal good, brutal bad, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it was just a god-awful match. It was too much wrestling, not enough violence. And it went to the outside. When it went to the outside of the ring,
Way too late.
It was way too late. That's when I actually started waking up. Like, oh, they're on the outside of the ring here. It just and the whole draw finish. The whole draw finish with seeing Ryback going through the stage lights was like, ugh, really. This match will end the draw. Technically, Ryback won because he actually got up.
Yeah, but if they had done a 10 count, they both would have been.
Oh, bull crap! The referee was nowhere to be found.
Well, that's his fault. I think that was.
Ryback got up.
He didn't get up for a 10 count.
Yeah,
I was expecting the ref to be back there, do the 10 count. They both be down and call the draw. Because other than that, you're right. Ryback won.
The best last man standing match draw finish was Mick Foley versus The Rock at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, when they both were down for the 10 count. That was the greatest last man standing match draw finish I have ever seen. That was back during the Attitude Era.
I was expecting Cena to bust out some duct tape and just duct tape Ryback's legs together like he did.
I'm sorry, but Roberto Del Rio called. He said, I've done that at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
He done it at the Royal Rumble, the Big Show.
Yeah, so that's already been stolen from Cena.
Right. But Cena used the duct tape too much. We do not want to see no more duct tape.
And I was kind of expecting for them to go through the lights and just take the fight backstage.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. They could have kept going with that. But now, unfortunately, from last Monday on Raw, we get an ambulance match.
Oh.
The second ambulance. Is this the second ambulance match this year? No, this is second year in a row we get an ambulance match on a major pay-per-view.
They're not visually interesting.
They're not. Your goal is to basically throw your opponent in the back of the ambulance. Boom, you win.
Yeah, all you got to do is just set them up for a clothesline and
they're in the ambulance. Shut the door. Shut the door. Off you go.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, who's gonna win that match? Is Cena gonna get lucked up and do an AA or Ryback into the back of the ambulance? And did I just predict the end of the match?
Oops.
Oops. Whoops. I'm sorry, Vince. You have to change the ending.
Yeah, this no-name guy just totally sniped our ending.
I don't care. We're going through it.
Yeah, that's the problem with the WWE. All-encompassing right there.
Yes.
We're going to do it because I like it.
Yeah, what's the point of having a team of writers if you're just going to change everything they do anyway?
I know. Yeah, Cena, AA Ryback to the back of the ambulance, that'd be the end of the feud. Unless they do something crazy and it continues into Money in the Bank. Or they could have Ryback lose. Here, you can have Ryback lose, have Ryback participate in a Money in the Bank ladder match, have Ryback win Money in the Bank, cash in that night on Cena, and win the WWE Championship. Then you can have Ryback defending the WWE Championship against John Cena at SummerSlam. Boom, there you go. That's how you continue the story. I just laid out the entire summer storyline for you.
Nice.
That's an extended version of Book It, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Is there anything else that anybody would like to discuss before Sensational Sosie goes into her segment?
Just some news here. Bo Dallas won the NXT Championship from B. Langston at NXT taping. So Bo Dallas is your new NXT champion. And also today was his birthday.
Yes,
jeez,
I think I know why that happened. I think it's because Big E Langston is going to be going up to the big show.
Well, supposedly, in the words, Big E Langston supposed to be feuding with Mark Henry, have like a world's strongest man type feud. In which
more black on black crime?
Yes, more black on black crime. Mark Henry supposed to turn face. Yippee, a face Mark Henry. We know how that worked last time.
Really? A face Mark Henry?
Yeah, face Mark Henry.
You should come back as sexual chocolate.
That
Anybody got Mae Young's phone number? Let's get her back.
Someone could roll Mae Young out there. Well, we need a new Mae Young. Who could be a new Mae Young?
Why can't he hook up with Vicky?
Yes. Is the hand pregnancy gonna come back again, ladies and gentlemen?
No, this time it'll be a foot.
Or it'll be a picture of Eddie Guerrero.
Oh! Too
snap.
Okay.
How we get into that subject? How we go from Bo Dallas winning the NXT Championship to Vicky Guerrero possibly birthing out a picture of Eddie Guerrero?
I don't know. I think we're all over the place. We need to rope this in a little.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh God, we apologize.
Yeah, people.
Okay, let's get into Sosie's segment, Fanfic Fails.
All right, Nick, it's time for earmuffs. There's going to be a lot of gay in this conversation, so earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
Nick has put on his official heel turn earmuffs for our segment.
Which is my hands.
Okay.
Patent pending.
Patent pending on hands. Yeah. Today we are doing the top 5 fanfic fails. If these two jabrones will stop laughing. Okay. Any more laughing? There we go. Okay, top 5 fanfic fails. Where are your earmuffs? Put your earmuffs back on.
Okay, alright, the patent pending hand muffs. Okay.
There's going to be so much editing at the end.
Leave part of this in.
There'll be outtakes. Okay, it's time for the top 5 fanfic fails. Number 5, writing like a script. I don't know how many times I've clicked on a story only to see a script-like writing if you can't write like a normal story, just stop. Or at least let us know in the summary that it's written like a script so I can bypass your terrible writing, grammar, all of that. Because if it's written like a script, I can guarantee you it hits one of the other top 5 fails. Number 4, the first time hurts. It doesn't matter if it's a dude or a chick, if it's slash, it just does. You're not gonna earmuffs, Nick. You need earmuffs for this part. You can't have some dude shoving his fist up another dude's butt and it not hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna bleed. And I don't know how many times I've seen this and just have stopped reading because it just does. It's obvious these were written by virgins. Number 3.
Sound like anime.
Too many unneeded details. There are tons of stories out there where there's a paragraph and a half telling me what 2 people ate for dinner on their date. I don't need to know that they ate baked whatever encrusted fish if it's not gonna be like pushed into somebody's face, or if there's no reason for it. Please don't put it in the story. Just telling me they went somewhere for dinner, that is fine.
Sound like Triple H's tweets.
Number 2, if you're going to steal a story, please use the find and replace feature properly. I don't know how many stories I've read, and I usually read a lot of Seton. There's how many stories I've read where Randy has turned into Nick, and then in the next paragraph he has blonde hair. Not you, Nick. A different Nick.
Oh. Having identity crisis over here.
Stories where John has brown eyes, and all of a sudden,
Oh, yes, crap.
At one point, I've read a story where Randy turned into Evan and then turned back into Randy to turn into someone else. Just use the feature properly, and then afterwards, please read your story to make sure, because that feature does not work on words with parentheses on them, anything like that. You have to make sure, if you're gonna steal, I mean, it's terrible to steal someone else's writing, but if you're gonna do it, please do it properly. And the number 1 fanfic fail that has been done by so many terrible, terrible writers, earmuffs, Nick, is oversized penises. I've read so many stories, like, okay, having a penis that is 13 inches is not a good thing, ladies. I mean, this obviously that it's young girls writing these stories that have either never seen a penis or
Google image search Jonah Falcon.
There you go. That's what you're writing, ladies. Google that, and that's what you're writing. There's no way that feels good unless...
Or maybe some writing young ladies Google Sean Stasiak from 1999.
Like... Yeah, I know you love these guys, but I'm sorry, there's no way John Cena has a 12-inch penis, and it's just not. It's probably not 9. The average size is what, 6?
He has a cup down there, ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't it like when they just cite the size, one of your biggest peeves just ever?
Yeah, citing the size, even if it's an 8, citing the size completely takes your reader out of the story, because your thing is to give them a visual but not go into great detail so they can put in those details. All you need to say is, if you want to go with large, you can large, impressive, there's a ton of words, but no numbers.
Use a thesaurus, people.
Yes, please use a thesaurus. There are so many other words for things. Just please, that's another thing. Please use a thesaurus. Now, for the end of this, I'm going to shout out one good fan fiction writer. She is amazing. Her name is Aunt Jackie.
Aunt Jackie, you're awesome.
You can find her on Twitter at ff_Aunt Jackie. And for her stories, you can go to fanfiction.net/2287613/Aunt Jackie.
That sounds like the cheat code for Halo.
Hey, fanfiction that's how they do. They have all those numbers in their things. It's terrible, but it's worth going to read. She is excellent. She knows what she's doing. And shout out to her. All right, that's my segment.
Okay. I think we're going to close out the show with the releases of the NXT 7.
I had to assume that the segment's done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can take your mess
okay.
off.
I saw Miguel talking. I couldn't hear anything. Okay. Unfortunately, in the world of the WWE spring cleaning of their developmental system, Derek Bateman. Anybody remember Derek Bateman? He was an NXT participant. I believe it was NXT. Was it season? No, it cannot be season 2. It has to be like season 4.
I've seen him work.
When
the
SmackDown
show.
When NXT competition went online after they got dropped by Sci-Fi.
I hear they're coming back though.
It should not. Well, I take that back. NXT, obviously we know NXT is being taped down in Florida and being shown locally in Florida. It is also being shown overseas on the international markets. The WWE has pitched an idea to the Sci-Fi Network to bring NXT back, not as the competition, but as a regular TV show.
Right.
And the idea is to have the NXT matches and storylines come on Raw and SmackDown live events. Not on the TV shows, but on the live events only. To give them the exposure of competing in big arenas in front of a bigger crowd, which is a great idea. Because as fans, we can be exposed to you guys like on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, be like, oh, this is the new up-and-coming guys.
Right. More like an OVW type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, and it won't cost the WWE a whole lot of money because the episodes are taped weeks ahead of time. So it won't cost you a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can still go on YouTube. You can go on YouTube right now and watch full episodes of NXT, in which they are great. Jinder Mahal is actually great on NXT. He's like a freaking legend down there.
Wow.
Jinder Mahal and Seth Rollins have some great matches over the NXT Championship. Believe it or not. Just great matches. And Toyo Cesaro is actually being used properly in NXT. Derek Bateman still sucked in NXT. That's why he got released.
Now, have you seen their YouTube videos?
No.
The crew, that little crew that got released, they do YouTube videos now. Actually, we should pull that up. Hold on, let's pull that up.
Where did we left
Back
off?
from watching those videos.
The first video was terrible, ladies and gentlemen. Don't even watch it. The second one is actually pretty funny with the man formerly known as Percy Watson, who should be on the main roster right now, but I just can't understand. I guess
Black guy quota.
Yeah, the WWE for the black guy. Well, Booker T's not on the air, so they could squeeze him in.
Yeah, that's why our Truth was featured on SmackDown as a option.
Yeah.
But not only the release of Bateman, which was wanted, Bateman should have been released 2 years ago. But the guy known as Piers Bradley, the little brother of Dolph Ziggler, was a shock, I believe, to a lot of people in the WWE locker room and to a lot of people in the internet wrestling community because he was a very good talent. He was good in the ring. And just at this point that the three writers down there in NXT didn't know what to do with him the last several months by making him a backstage interview guy. And he jobbed to a few guys down there. He wasn't used to his full potential. But I could predict that Piers Bradley will get on his feet. He'll probably work the indies, which will be good for the young guy. Work the indies a little bit. He may flirt with TNA a little bit. I could see him being TNA, be part of the S division. Maybe build his brand a little bit with TNA, drink his cup of coffee there. Yeah, I can see him coming back to WWE and be just basically rebranded, have more season underneath his belt, and become a major star probably 3-4 years down the road.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, TNA And he could also go back to ROH.
Yeah, he'd go back to ROH too. Yeah, most
And
definitely.
ROH would welcome him with open arms, and they could.
And we all know ROH is sort of like a secret underground developmental farm for WWE too.
Yeah. Totally.
And speaking of NXT, Antonio Cesaro and Sam, I can't pronounce this gentleman's name. Sam, it starts with C.
What's his nuts?
Sam
What's his nuts?
Sam What's His Nuts had a great match. If you know what Sam I'm talking about, he used to be known as El Dorado.
El Generico?
El Generico, yes, El Generico,
He
formerly
changed
of
his name to Sam?
yeah,
Something or
El
other?
Generico.
They should have kept El Generico. I'm serious.
Yeah, he used to wear a mask when he
Right.
was in ROH. Now they took the mask off, and he had a classic match with Antonio Cesaro doing an NXT taping. This is a classic match. They wrestled 2 nights in a row, and it's the rave of the internet right now. If you're able to go on YouTube and somehow maybe find a fan video of it, I advise everyone to check out. I checked it out just a night ago, and I was blown away by it. And there's no reason why this guy can't be called to the main roster within the next 6 to 7 months.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, I guess this is going to wrap us up.
Wait, one more thing, man. One more thing. Wait a minute. Time out. Just some other news that's been thrown around out there. The possible scenarios for WrestleMania next year. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it in the next podcast more in depth. But plan A, ladies and gentlemen, is to have Brock Lesnar face The Rock at WrestleMania. That's plan A.
Kill me now.
If the Rock decides not to wrestle, plan B is for Brock Lesnar to face The Undertaker.
Really kill me now.
That'd be a great match, Lesnar.
Yeah, they
Undertaker.
legit hate each other. I'm
Why
not?
not?
Yeah, but here's the thing. If they hate each other, that means they might be throwing real potatoes. You throw potatoes on Taker, Taker might actually die.
Oh, God, well, stop. He's not. I mean, he's old, but he's not fragile.
Well,
he
he
ain't exactly
He has plastic
made of
hips.
iron either.
Yeah.
Well, he may have plastic hips, but not like he's a freaking China doll. Come on. All right, we'll talk more about it in the next podcast, Big Al.
Okay. Well, that wraps us up for this week. I'm Big Al.
I'm Sensational Sosie.
And I'm Nick, the Shopmaster McGee.
Have a week and get out of my ring.